Email of my husband and Kevin saying they wanted to meet up after storage. This is after my husband says he wants no contact. Now he's saying he wants to meet at storage. What? What? He wants to meet up and divide storage? Why? You're divorced, right? Not sure why that was offered. Thank you for the extra money today. So my husband sent an extra, I think it was $80 on the last child support payment. No, it was an extra 60 because it equaled 180. Don't know what that message, subliminal message was with the 180 or why he would send an extra 60. This is a man who wants no contact. He sent an extra $60. That makes sense, right? This was a text when you said, sorry for grabbing and pushing me. So this is the text. He took it out of context. There's more to it. There's another time too, and more, when I said, are you sure you're not going to push me again? He said, Melissa, I'm sorry for all that. That was awful. That was ugly. I'm sorry for it. It was rotten. And, yeah, sorry is one thing, but he keeps on doing it. There was another time in storage that I just called the Bow police, and he had chased me down at work. He was screaming. I already forgave him and agreed everything was water under the bridge when I got here. We had a written agreement that I would be here. Forgiving doesn't mean it didn't happen, and that was the beginning of the breakdown of the marriage. So he knows, with him screaming too. I was at the lobster pool, and he was screaming at me before I went to work. He was screaming bloody murder. I had let one job go. I think it was at like this nursing home, because I just could not handle an elderly woman. She was blind. She was crying. It was like one day I did not. I tried it, and I'm like, nope, don't want it. And so he was screaming bloody murder at me for that. So then I had to go into the lobster pool, and I had worked for Greg Macris years ago, and he had thrown like a butcher knife at the dishwasher area when I walked by, because he was mad because I cut the carrot cake wrong. And Greg was an alcoholic. So when I worked for him later, I'm thinking, I was at Eagle Square. This is the lobster pool, totally different. It's been years, right? Well, he started screaming again, and this is the way Greg was, So he was a Greek, and he's dead now, but I said, okay, I'm done. And I no longer put up with a man who yells at me. When I was younger, I didn't know what to do. I had a butcher knife thrown at me, so I just took it. What are you supposed to do, right? I had a job to do, and I stayed there for a long time. That was before I got married. And, so I didn't say anything. And his wife, Lorraine, came up to me, and she goes, Greg owes you an apology. And he actually did apologize. And she said he has never apologized, Melissa, to anyone. He actually said he was sorry to me. So I had forgiven him. It wasn't talked about, and we just moved on. So they were really happy to hire me again. But when I saw his behavior hadn't changed, he was back at the bar, and he was yelling at people and yelled at me. I said, Greg, I have a question. And then he just like, what? I'm doing dishes. And he starts yelling. This is after my husband was screaming at me. I said, okay, I'm done, and walked right out. Never looked back. I did go get my check. He looked like he felt bad when I picked up my check. And I was just like, yeah, God, you deal with him. I'm not putting up with it. And so, as I said in court, I love you and always will. I love my husband. I will always love him. It's a Christ-like love. But his behavior is awful. Very bad behavior. I don't have a court order not to speak to my husband, and you said you wanted to have contact with storage. And then I'm like, I hope the best for you, and glad that you're happy without me, but I still believe in marriage.